Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, like my boy Sam used to say, children of all ages, welcome back to another Sporting160EN podcast number 78. And this one is a special one celebrating 3 years of us doing this podcast live on YouTube, especially the two founders of this podcast, Steph and Sam. We have both of them here joined with us today. How's it going, my good friend Steph? How's it going?
It's going pretty good, and I'm just going to go back to 3 years ago. The idea came from Sam. We didn't even know each other that well, but we met on Twitter, and then he sent me a DM, and he said, "Hey, how do you feel about doing a podcast?" I said, "Okay, I never done it before, but I mean, I guess we could give it a shot," and then we were struggling coming up with a good name. So at the time, it was called Sporting Updates UK, which I stumbled upon the video a couple weeks ago, and it had the date on it, and I was like, "Oh, that's phenomenal!" Because now we have actually an actual birthday foundation date, not like Sporting Lisboa e Benfica. They don't have one. Tem uma fusão. They don't have a fundação. But anyway, and then a year and a half later, o João Castro he proposed. He said, "How would you guys be interested in becoming Sporting160EN?" And then I spoke to you guys, and everyone was on board with it. And we recognized that being part of such a huge project as Sporting Century Center of Portugal, the headquarters, would only benefit all of us. And here we are today. We are Sporting160EN, which means in English. But at the very beginning was with me and Sam, which we don't regret doing it, and it's been the greatest feeling to talk about the biggest love of our life, which is Sporting Club Portugal. Sam, back to you, Sam.
Well, I think we've got to give a shout out to the PT Footy podcast. I don't know if they're still doing it anymore, but that's how me and Steph met. I had the account, I think it was called Sporting World, and what happened was that pretty much, I'm going to be real with you guys, I used to make up transfer rumors just to see how many people I could fool. I remember I made a link to Capel, and then Sky Sports actually retweeted it, their own tweet about it. But it was just a joke then. I think 5 years later, I still had it, and I messaged Steph, and I was like, "This is something that I believe we can do," and it's allowed us to meet each other. You know, we've got people interacting with us every day. We do the podcast, even if we tweet, they're always with us. So it's been an honor to watch you guys do your thing, and it's been an honor to be a part of this incredible journey for 3 years.
So I'll pick it up. Danny keeps on skipping, but you know we couldn't be doing this without the help of Chris and Danny and Nando. They've been very consistent lately, and Patrick as well. Whenever he's available, it's tough for people from Europe, especially from Portugal and the UK. In the case of Sam and Patrick, it's a 5-hour difference, and our time frame when we do it at 8-9, it's like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning in Portugal, and the UK makes it much more difficult. But this podcast is gained a lot of followers and a lot of traction thanks to the good work of Danny, Chris, and Nando. And thank you guys for that. We have an awesome team that is always willing to do podcasts, and thank you so much. Without any further delays, let me introduce you to João Castro and Pedro Varela. João Castro was the founder of Sporting160. Which they've been around for a long time in Portugal. They're a huge success. They have these enormous guests that we don't have the luxury of having because they have a ton of connections in Portugal, and they're able to get these amazing guests como Inácio, Jordanov, Balakov. It's just the names go on, and they one of the top podcasts in Portugal. So, João, podes falar em português, inglês, chinês, o que tu quiseres, como te sentires confortável. A bola está do teu lado.
Vou começar em inglês, depois passo para português. I want to congratulate everyone. I think you guys do such great job. I want you to keep this great work that you are doing. You are far away and love our sporting so much. You are an inspiration to many that are far away from Portugal and the club. Agora em português, para vos dizer que eu admiro o vosso trabalho e eu não consigo imaginar o que é viver tão longe de Portugal e do Sporting e estar constantemente a fazer o trabalho que vocês fazem e a amar o clube da forma que vocês amam o clube, que se nota ao longe. E, portanto, eu queria vos dar aqui os parabéns por estar 3 anos a passar a mensagem do Sporting e depois também um bocadinho do Sporting 60 para toda a gente que está longe do clube, que fala inglês. Os Estados Unidos têm uma comunidade muito extensa de sportinguistas e o Canadá também. E acho que o trabalho que vocês fazem... se calhar nós não conseguimos fazer, se calhar eu e o Pedro, se estivéssemos tão longe, se calhar tínhamos desligado a ficha, a tomada e não fazíamos o que fazíamos, mas vocês conseguem comentar as notícias, falar do Sporting, também ter convidados, mudando aqui algumas pessoas. É um trabalho fantástico que vocês fazem e deve ser mesmo difícil. O que eu vejo é que deve ser mesmo difícil vocês passarem um ano sem ver um jogo de Sporting ao vivo. Olha, o Pedro Varela matava-se, atirava-se logo de uma rabina abaixo. Eu ia a seguir logo, tipo, não podia ir à bola também, não podia estar com o Pedro no futebol de pé, que nós passámos os jogos de pé, ele ia sofrer, não é, Pedro? Ali os jogos de pé, sofrer, ia beber umas cervejas, e lá está, tínhamos que ir para o beisebol ou para o hockey gelo, quer dizer, tínhamos que ir para o hockey gelo, que o Pedro adora o hockey gelo. Lá estava eu e o Pedro no hockey gelo de pé e depois éramos insultados na bancada porque queríamos ver o jogo do hockey gelo de pé e vocês fazem um trabalho fantástico e reparem, já estou a ver aí, o Sam já tem a camisola nova. Já tem a camisola nova.
E o Christian também. E o Christian
também.
Pronto. É que vocês são importantes, já têm a camisola nova. E isto que vocês fazem é daquelas coisas que uma pessoa dá valor, não é? Dá valor, mas não conseguimos imaginar como é que seria se nós estivéssemos no vosso caso, na vossa situação. E espero que continuem, porque vocês estão a crescer muito. Vocês comentam as transferências todas, as notícias todas em inglês. Fazem mais do que a página do Sporting em inglês, que não faz nada, como vocês sabem, e portanto vocês fazem mais do que isso, falam em inglês, e às vezes já vi jornalistas a pegarem nas vossas notícias, porque há alguns jornalistas também aí na América que vos seguem e pegam nas vossas notícias, porque veem que vocês dão indicações sobre transferências, principalmente, ou resultados, e isto é fantástico. Portanto, deixa-me aqui lembrar também o Grupo Carioca Leonino, que aqui também está a fazer o mesmo percurso no Brasil, que vocês fazem, portanto, vocês são uma inspiração para eles, vocês não sabem isso, mas deixo-vos aqui já uma sugestão, porque é que não convidar o Grupo Carioca Leonino para vossos convidados? Eles falam português, são brasileiros, está aqui uma excelente interação entre sportinguistas que estão longe e que podem falar de clube. Portanto, Steph, Dani, Sam, Christian e todos os outros que fazem o programa, um grande abraço e contem connosco também para o que precisar.
Sou eu?
Claro. Desculpa lá, eu fugi um bocadinho, eu não sei, o computador está um bocadinho velho, a internet, mas Pedro também, se tens algumas palavras para dizer também.
I will say some words in English. Sorry for my English, but I will say it's not the same way that I express in Portuguese, you know, how I'm expressing in Portuguese when I talk about Sporting. But first of all, congratulations for these 3 years. I think it's an amazing journey for you guys because, like João said, being so far away from Portugal and talk every week or every day in the Twitter about Sporting, it's some difficult, and I don't even know how it is possible because although we are 300 kilometers away from the stadium, from Lisbon. Of course, we have some games near us, and sometimes we can go to Lisbon. So it's very different from the kind of sport that you must have and you should have. And so, congratulations for all the 3 years. And for many years that yet to come. Passando para português, para tentar passar aqui uma mensagem melhor. O João tirou-me aí algumas das palavras. É evidente que a distância, para mim, quando nós começamos o Sporting 160, o João começou e depois convidou-nos e começamos a fazer o podcast, e quando nós começamos a sentir o apoio de vocês, de outras pessoas de diferentes países, eu vou-te dizer, eu acho que terá sido das melhores coisas que nós sentimos no podcast, porque foi... porque sentir os sportinguistas fora de Portugal, falar com pessoas que vivem à distância, que sofrem muito mais do que nós, porque não poder, como o João disse, não poder ir ao estádio com a regularidade que nós podemos, é completamente diferente. E vocês estão há 3 anos a falar sobre o Sporting. Nos últimos 3 anos o Sporting tem ganho muito pouco. É inacreditável como é que nós continuamos a ter uma massa associativa e um conjunto de adeptos que não abandonou o clube, mesmo olhando para tudo o que se tem passado nestes últimos anos. E esse trabalho que vocês têm feito é de enaltecer, é incrível, muito mais complicado do que o que nós fazemos semanalmente. E nós até... Acho que foi a primeira vez, nós vamos começar o nosso 5º ano de Sporting 160 em Portugal, e acho que é a primeira vez que estamos tanto tempo parados, porque tem sido difícil. O último ano foi muito complicado. Se não temos tido os convidados, eu não sei se aguentaríamos tanto tempo a falar, porque a certa altura já nos repetíamos muito nos assuntos, e já nos custava, porque o nosso objetivo nunca é falar mal do Sporting, mas às vezes temos que o fazer, não falar mal do clube, mas falar mal das coisas que vão acontecendo. E, portanto, para vocês que estão longe, eu imagino que ainda seja mais complicado, mas é como o João disse, têm feito um trabalho incrível, e se calhar às vezes poderíamos todos... contribuir ainda para melhorar isto e para, como o João disse, com o grupo brasileiro, com outros grupos que se pudessem juntar, enfim, mas isso também não são as nossas vidas, e eu acho que já vamos fazendo muito mais todos em conjunto do que se calhar do que se calhar seria esperado ou expectável, ou até que o clube até poderia ajudar em algumas coisas, mas infelizmente é o que temos e é com isto que temos que viver, e nada contra o que é, mas acima de tudo agradecer-vos tudo aquilo que vocês têm feito nestes últimos 3 anos, porque é fantástico, e estar fora, nós obviamente como não estamos, não conseguimos nem imaginar sequer o que isso é. E olha, e hoje já há alguns dias, mas hoje quando vocês voltaram a falar hoje sobre o programa desta noite, era impossível não estarmos aqui, mesmo já sendo meia-noite. Acho que era impossível não estar aqui para vos dar um abraço e para dar força para continuarem, porque como se costuma dizer, o Sporting somos nós os adeptos que estamos aqui todos os dias e a viver intensamente, e se olhássemos racionalmente para as coisas, como eu costumo dizer, se calhar já tínhamos desligado de tudo e já tínhamos desligado os podcasts todos e já tínhamos deixado de falar do Sporting, porque no final de contas, que é os resultados esportivos, aquelas coisas, eles não existem. Portanto, nós continuamos a fazer isto por uma paixão incrível que todos nós, estamos aqui 6, que todos nós temos por um clube, e que às vezes isto é quase irracional, mas é como é, e acho que não conseguimos viver sem isto.
Obrigado pelas palavras. E obrigado sempre também pelo apoio e tudo assim. Are you guys hearing me though? I'm having some technical difficulties. Is everything good? Okay, perfect.
Yeah. We can hear you.
Cool. I was just about to start off just right now with the video that João just sent us earlier today. Have everybody else listen to it. Shout out to everybody else. Real quick. Give me 1 sec. Let me set this up. And then, of course, we also have another one from Gabriel that we'll set up later on during the day or during the pod. But anyways, here we go.
congrats, guys. Achievement, 3 years. This is most important project that we have. And I think we will be succeed in this goal to speak about Sporting every week. Portuguese, parabéns ao Dani, parabéns ao Steph, ao Christian, ao Nando, por este trabalho maravilhoso que fazem todas as semanas. Falar de Sporting e no estrangeiro, viver o Sporting que vocês vivem no estrangeiro. Epá, vocês são os maiores, para mim, vocês são os maiores. Tenho pena que realmente a idade permita falar mais vezes, mas gostaríamos de vos ter mais vezes no Sporting 160 se vocês conseguissem. Já tivemos cá o Steph e portanto fica já para termos. Vocês realmente transpiram Sporting e é muito difícil transpirar Sporting a tanta distância. Portugal e do Sporting, de Lisboa, do estádio. E, portanto, tudo o que vocês fazem para engrandecer o nome deste grande clube é de salutar e vocês estão realmente bem, sempre equipados, com coisas de Sporting, a falarem com muito conhecimento e, portanto, tudo aquilo que me apraz dizer aqui é que vocês realmente fazem um bem trabalho. Nós gostaríamos de dar mais ajuda, não tem sido fácil, fica-nos esse lamento, nós não conseguimos vos ajudar mais de participar às vezes nos vossos programas, realmente é a parte que mais tenho pena, mas em todo caso estamos cá para vos ajudar com todo tipo de informações, porque vocês, eu vou-vos contar aqui uma história, ainda recentemente e quando agora vendemos as t-shirts do Sporting 160, nós tivemos pedidos de pessoas que não são vocês, que não é o Nuno, por exemplo, mas foram pessoas dos Estados Unidos que de alguma forma nos conhecem graças a vocês. E o nome de Sporting é sempre divulgado nos Estados Unidos e no Canadá através de vocês. E, portanto, só vos tenho que mandar aqui um grande abraço para quem estiver a ver, porque vocês merecem aqui um abraço especial. 3 anos não é fácil, nós sabemos o que é isto. Está sempre aqui a dar a cara e sempre a dar a opinião. E, portanto, um grande abraço e que brevemente um de vocês esteja connosco no Sporting 160 para falarmos do nosso clube. Um grande abraço, continuação de um grande programa e mais uma vez, parabéns, vocês são os maiores.
Thank you again. Great words. We really do appreciate your support and all of that. Also, just a quick note, look at Steph's eyes on that. What are you looking at, buddy?
Laser focus.
Estava admirado, assim, é o João Castro no nosso podcast.
Temos que fazer aí uns programas cruzados a seguir a jogos do Sporting, uma segunda-feira, uma terça, uma quarta, qualquer coisa, não sei, mas devemos de combinar isso também para trocar pontos de vistas e vocês sabem, nós só regressamos dia 14 de setembro e eu para já tenho estado completamente desligado. Uma outra coisa, aliás, pela primeira vez voltei a escrever qualquer coisa sobre Sporting, mas temos, assim, começar a nova época, temos que cruzar aqui os 2 podcasts e falar aqui sobre jogos, sobre expectativas que cada um tem para esta época que vai começar, porque acho que pode ser uma boa ideia. Todos nós teremos certamente pensamentos diferentes ou iguais, não faço ideia, mas logo veremos, mas acho que podia ser uma boa forma de começarmos também a próxima, para nós a próxima temporada e para vocês que têm estado sempre, praticamente não pararam, para fazer aqui uma integração entre os 2 podcasts.
Steph, nós vamos ter, vou-vos dar aqui em primeira mão, nós vamos ter um programa, vamos ter uma participação especial num dos nossos próximos programas, que é a visão de um apanha-bolas do Sporting. Portanto, nós vamos ter aqui uma visão de um apanha-bolas do Sporting para nos dar uma visão diferente do que é um jogo do Sporting e como é que os apanha-bolas vivem esses jogos. Portanto, fica aqui também um exclusivo. Não anunciamos em lá nenhum e decidi anunciar aqui para vocês terem esse exclusivo. Portanto, nós vamos ter umas declarações e uma entrevista a um apanha-bolas do Sporting para nos dar uma perspectiva completamente diferente do que é um jogo de Sporting. Como é que se vive o jogo de Sporting ali junto às linhas e não poder intervir. Vocês imaginem, se fosse jogador de Sporting, apanha-bolas, entrava dentro do campo, não é? Não havia hipótese. Tirava lá o bombear e metia-me lá. Mas, portanto,
Eu roubava a bola logo. Ficava logo com a bola. Os apanha-bolas são jogadores da formação do Sporting, não?
Não.
Ah.
Às vezes entram uns miúdos no campo com eles, mas depois os apanha-bolas não. Os apanha-bolas não. Normalmente são outros, não fazem parte.
Eu acho que os apanha-bolas do Sporting, os miúdos da formação do Sporting só são apanha-bolas, acho que eu, na academia. Nem Alvalade, não. Nem Alvalade, são mesmo miúdos contratados ou arranjados através de passatempos ou algo do género. Depois ele vai contar a história e é interessante por acaso. Mas não são. Foi também uma boa questão que nós fizemos, mas não é.
Então os apanha-bolas é um trabalho em si? São pagos para apanhar as bolas? Não me digas
pagos
isso.
É que eu já tenho dúvidas. Quer dizer, no caso de Sporting, se calhar são pagos. Ainda não receberam, mas se calhar até são pagos.
Se calhar são do Braga.
São do Braga, lá.
São do Braga.
Tá bom. So, Danny, what's the next topic? Do you have the video from Gabriel or no?
I'm struggling on this end, but we'll wish. I don't want to keep them too long here, seeing as it is midnight, almost 12:30 out there. So, Pedro, João, thank you again for everything. Thank you for joining us today. Obrigado pelo apoio nos últimos 3 anos. Temos sempre. E fica aí aquela challenge, aquela ideia no ar.
Vamos fazer isso.
We'll see each other soon.
Yeah.
Okay,
guys. Thank you. Have a nice program. Bye. See you soon.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Okay. Um abraço. Obrigado, João. Obrigado, Pedro.
Um abraço.
Um abraço.
Obrigado. Okay. I don't think what's going on over here. Sorry, guys. Sorry. So let's go to someone else who was a big part of the podcast for a little while, who's technically really still a part of the team as well. We're gonna join our boy Patrick is all joining from the UK. What's up, Patrick? Thanks for waiting with us for a little bit there.
That's right. First half
yeah, and then I guess little 30-minute. I was watching the Tottenham little all-in series, and it reminded me of the time that Eric Dyer was substituted in like the 22nd minute. I forget what game that was now. This is basically what it is, We're subbing in Eriksson for Dyer. But how's it going tonight, bro?
Yeah, not too bad, obviously. Big occasion for the podcast, and it's always been a pleasure to be part of it, so I had to roll through for this one.
Sounds good. Little time lapse off. If we went into our a quick little mention of what to us or not. I don't know if we want to do that or not. Just a thought. I can quickly start. I'm lagging. Am I back?
You're back, man. Your Canadian internet sucks.
Can you guys hear me?
Now we can. It was weird the last 10. Anything you said the last 10.
You know what it is? What it is? This laptop's really old, I think, and it's just losing it right now. I was just saying, just quickly mention our thoughts on I can start it off what I felt about the podcast the last 3 years. I do think it's a huge accomplishment. It was of course 3 years ago Steph and Sam started, and then maybe a month or two after I got on and jumped on, and I love it. Not only is it's like a super fun hobby for me and something that I can always always talk and give my opinion about the team that I've loved in my life, but now more so than ever, where not to always talk about this administration, but now more so than ever when they're trying to silence fans. I think us, along with Sporting160EN, along with our Twitter page, we at least give a voice to the fans that otherwise wouldn't. And I think us, more importantly, especially as we're a super niche, as we're like an English-speaking Sporting podcast. And yeah, man, this podcast, this last years have been very special with this podcast alongside. I don't know if you guys want to be sentimental at all, or if I'm just fucking over here blabbing.
No, that's
No,
fine, man. It seems like you need a hug.
But yeah, or we can just go straight into the. Tô chorar bocadinho, you know, like.
Queres mouchoir?
We can go into the questions real quick.
Well, let Chris.
Well, I don't know what that is, but yeah, I'm
mind.
down. What is that?
Let Chris speak his mind too about
Go ahead, Chris.
how he was
Yeah.
recruited to the podcast.
So basically, I had listened to the podcast, the Sporting Updates podcast. I had interacted with Twitter page, and just one day, I think you guys either Steph or Danny asked me to come on to fill in for somebody, not even just like as a guest, and then I guess I just kept. Maybe it was a guest one more time, and then you guys were like, "Do you want to just keep doing this?" And I was like, sure. I mean, I'm basically tweeting about Sporting on my own account exclusively anyways, responding to you guys, interacting with other Sporting fans. Like, I mean, I might as well. So, I mean, it's been really fun for me. It's definitely like a big, pastime of mine. I love getting on here and interacting with all you guys every day on the Twitter page. And, basically like once a week, I would say, with you guys on here. And ever since we came to this new platform here on YouTube, it's been even better, I think, because we can engage with you guys in real time. So it's even better. But I mean, basically, for me, if I know not every Sporting fan speaks Portuguese. I mean, a lot do, obviously, but not everyone does. You're born in the States here to immigrant parents and you didn't speak it growing up, or you're just, I know we have plenty of fans with no connection to Portugal. They live in, Germany or Jordan, for example. They're just are Sporting fans for whatever reason. So I think that English is more of a universally spoken language. So, I mean, if me tweeting out news in English about Sporting helps even one person get news that they wouldn't have otherwise been able to understand, then basically my mission is complete, because I'm helping someone else learn about Sporting. I mean, that's like the main thing that I care about, right? So the fact that we interact with hundreds of people every day, it just makes it totally worth it. And yeah, like Danny said, especially during this time, club's been turbulent for a couple years now. I think us being a consistent voice through it all is important, and I hope that at least some people out there can get value from it.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. I think I left you again. Not I think. I definitely did.
No, we can still see you.
Yeah, you're good.
Cool. Yeah, I don't know where we go from there because I just missed the last like 5 minutes.
It's all good. I mean, we can go into preseason unless Pat or Sam wants to say anything else.
For sure.
Well, really quick, Pat and Sam, they both came. We met each other on the Footy podcast. I'm glad that Sam reminded me, and that was done by Pedro. He was the host from Portugal, and with Cynthia, which she's our good friend, Benfiquista, one of the only ones I like. There's not too many, and we had a great show actually. And that's what I met also Patrick, and then we came together with the Sporting Updates UK, and then we went forward with that, and then Chris was an invite from Twitter, and then he did the same thing. I saw you guys being totally involved with our account, and then I said, let me start recruiting people because we need more and more people, and lately. I know Chris has been doing a lot of work with Twitter and Danny. I know by now who's tweeting the tweets. I know it because everyone has a different style.
That guy.
So
90% of them.
Yeah. And you keep it moving and the way it should be, and because one day you're going to be burned out, and I'll pick up the slack, and Danny will pick up the slack, Sam will pick up the slack, Patrick will pick up the slack.
It really doesn't even feel like work to me, to be honest. Or it's just, I'm on Twitter anyways. I'm just sitting in my apartment. I live alone these days. Like, What the hell else am I going to be doing?
Well, that's why. Wait until you get married, and then things will change.
All right, so I should be good for at least a decade.
And then once you have kids, like my son, this new generation, puta que pariu, meu. Anyway, so Patrick, anything you want to say, buddy?
No, I just obviously want to once again add to the value of a podcast like this. It's so important to have something where like fans like us can vent our daily frustrations or come together in jubilation over a simple thing like football. It's always important to have this sort of hub for us to talk about things, to talk about tactics or good, bad results, and not only that, to build a community off that, so the conversation can expand from not just us five, or it can go for however many fans and followers that we have. It's always important to have this sort of platform available, and also most importantly in an English platform, because we are talking about a club like Sporting. I know sometimes it can be very easy to just attach Sporting to like a Portuguese demographic, but the Portuguese community is out there in numbers all across the world, so it's important to cover all those sort of bases. And I think what Sporting160EN does is just that. We cover a very solid and important base, which is the English side of Sporting, and yeah, it's been a pleasure to be part of the project.
Sounds great, dude. Yeah, we'll jump right into the Twitter questions, unless I miss Sam. Sam, did we miss you?
No, but I'll add something if you don't mind.
Of course.
So I'm just looking at the comments here and all the tweets we get. I recognize some names like Johnny, like Lauren. I mean, there's so many people that interact with us daily, and it's you guys that make us do what we do. Like, we appreciate all the support. We've been through 2 Twitter accounts. One, I believe, had 3,000 followers before it got suspended, or maybe 2,000.
4,000 before Sport TV fucked us.
Yeah. TV. But
We'll get back
yeah, 4,000 followers. Now we're back at 2,000, and it's all thanks to Steph, Danny, Patrick, Christian, even people who have helped us in the past who aren't a part of the podcast but still interact. We've got the 2 Brunos, you've got people that I'm going to miss, but it's the fans that really help. Nando. And there's so many people that make this podcast is what it is. So thank you to you guys, thank you to the fans, and here's to 3 more years, boys.
Facts. And then 3 turns into another 3 turns into another 30, and then next thing you know, we're all in retirement homes still doing this fucking podcast.
And we still haven't won the league.
Exactly.
Don't even say that.
All right, let's just jump right into the Twitter questions then. First one comes from another former guest, Joel da Silva at JoLeon_073. He says, first of all, congrats to many more years to come. Thank you, bro. Then he asks, so with the likes of Götze, Sturridge, Alexander Pato, or even Mandzukic available on a free transfer, this is already starting crazy, and Sporting needing more experience up front, would it be wise to bring any of those players in? Let me take this one. It would be wise. Will it ever happen? I doubt it. We don't have any money apparently now.
I'd take Mandzukic. I don't know about any of those other guys.
I'd take Sturridge.
Yeah, I'll take Sturridge.
Sturridge would give us. He'd give us a solid He'd give us a solid month and a half before he's injured for the rest.
Bro, wasn't he linked to Chicago Fire, bro? And didn't he play 10 games in Turkey last year? What did he even do? That might have been 2 years ago. I have no idea where he even is these days.
Yeah, no, definitely, yeah. But I mean, I don't know. You don't slander the MLS around me, because I'd still have Freddie Montero.
I mean, yeah, that's true. That's true. We need 3 strikers. So
we do. Listen, I wouldn't mind picking up any of those guys. Even Götze. I mean, he's had his best years are behind him, but let's our rivals have some Germans in their team. Let's rival them with a World Cup winner, right?
We ain't got no money, bro. We'll have to sell
exactly.
We'll have to sell our lion.
Exactly. So it would be wise, but it'll be very unlikely. Next question comes in from our boy Matt Paiva at M Paiva on Twitter, MPaiva7. Again, he says, first off, congrats on the milestones. Thank you very much. Always enjoy listening in and participating when I can with you guys, and I look forward to talking Sporting with you. My question is, what do you guys think of Tiago Tomás? Was Ruben Amorim right in choosing him over Pedro Mendes? Do you think Pot is the real deal? Patrick, I'll give that one to you first. What are your thoughts on Tiago Tomás, dude?
Well, it was interesting because just yesterday when the game was on, I posed the question to the group just to see what the general opinions on the guy was, and personally for me, like, I'm not 100% convinced on just how good he is. But you know, there are good signs there. He's got a bit of mobility, a little bit of technical ability to him as well. Sometimes he picks the wrong choices when on the ball, but generally, you know, he's someone who, you know, he has scope. He's a young player. He has scope to develop. He's coming into the team. It is an interesting time for him. So, I guess we just got to see like how he settles in. But you know, the jury's still out. I think both of him. I'd feel the same way if Pedro Mendes was in his position. They're different kind of strikers, like 1v1. But you know, we just got to give it time. I'm not sure he'll have a huge role. I'm not expecting it. But you know, he could surprise us all. But one thing I will say, from the end of last season to the start of pre-season, I know it's only pre-season and we played a pretty poor Bolognese side just yesterday, but I will say that I think Tiago Tomás looks considerably better than he did in the little cameos that he had towards the end of the season.
Agreed.
That would be my take on him.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And Sam, I'll give you that second part. What do you think of, or do you think Pot is the real deal?
I don't want to overhype the guy, and I don't want to get excited, but he was great at Famalicão, and I think he's going to be great for us. But there's one thing, it's a rule I live by, and you have to wait at least 4 months before judging a signing. Because you remember Bruno César, on his first game, scored 2, and I know he's loved throughout the Sporting fan base, but he wasn't the best, and he scored 2. Even Ruben Ribeiro on his debut was fantastic, but I think he's got to have a little bit of time settling into the team. He's very versatile. He can play anywhere. I see the comparisons to Bruno Fernandes, and I'm not sure. I think he can be a great player for us, but I don't think he will top Bruno Fernandes. But obviously, I'm holding out hope, and right now, he seems like the real deal.
I also noticed, I don't know if it's gonna stay that way, but he also had number 28 on his jersey, who, if you guys recall, also is Ronaldo's number, Bas Dost's number, formerly of Sporting. So, you know, at least
that's
it's not
gotta be his number, right? He's not.
Listen, I think so too. And if in all honesty, I prefer players having number 28 in there as a Sporting player than number 7, because in recent history, number 28 has been way better than a number 7. So next question comes in from David Claudio at David Strife 35. He asks, do you think Max will leave Sporting in this transfer market? Do you guys like Tiago Tomás? Keep up your awesome work, guys. Thank you very much, David. Steph, I'll pass that one to you, dude. Do you think? I think I've been very vocal on it. I think Chris is starting to sort of see the light of day where I've been saying for the last few months. Do you think Max will leave this transfer market?
Well, before I say anything, I kind of missed the English accent from Patrick and Sam. So
I know it was too American for a little bit.
It was too American for
North American.
Adds a little spice.
I mean, for God's sake, they do speak proper English. So yeah. With that said, well, I hope he doesn't leave. I hope he stays. And the only reason why he would leave, I think it would be to make more money. That's obvious. And if he feels like he's being treated like shit, because lately Sporting has done a phenomenal job in treating players that were brought up in our academy, and they've been treating them like shit. And if his agent gets a good proposal from a bigger club or a club that can pay him more, and we were supposed to renew with him a while ago, and we still haven't renewed with him. I think he makes 90,000 euros per year.
Yeah, that's right.
So Adan, here he comes, Adan, at 33 years old, Spanish goalie, and he makes 10 times more. So I feel sorry for Maxi. So I hope he stays, but I hope Sporting also gives him a good salary, the one he deserves. The second question was what? What was the portion?
Do you like Tiago Tomás?
Of course. I've been following him since he was juvenile, under 17. I knew he was going to be a great player. He scored a lot of goals. He was champion of for Sporting under 15, under 17. I'm sure about that. I don't even need to check it because his name always came about. He always scored a lot of goals in the Formação. So it's just a matter of time, and you can see his level of confidence when he plays on the pitch, in front of the cameras, the way he expresses himself. To me, that counts a lot too, and the way he plays in a collective way. He's not selfish, and you could see it against yesterday's game against Bolonense. He was impeccable. He just needs more time. I'm not expecting him to be Jesus Christ, for God's sake, but he needs more time. I think he'll be better than Plata. I mean, I've been patient with Plata, but again, when we need him to kill the game and to score the third goal, he doesn't do it. He's taking a little bit too long for someone that we have high hopes. But that's it.
Agreed. We also have a question coming in from Gonçalo do SCP on Twitter. He asks, what's your opinion about Ristovski's post and his new role this season? I'll even throw in, is he going to stay this season? Of course, we got Porro at the right wing. We got Ristovski, maybe another youngster. We'll see. But Christian, what are your thoughts on that? What did you think of Ristovski's post? Of course, about him getting captaincy.
Yeah, I saw it. I mean, it's truthfully been a wild ride for that guy, to be honest. And it seemed like he was for sure going to be offloaded in this window. He was linked to Wolfsburg. I haven't heard anything about that in a while. I mean, he got his marching orders, it seemed like. And, like, he was borderline about to be one of those. Like, he was almost in the Ilori, Rozier, all those guys' club, just hanging out at Alcochete with the B team. But, I mean, the fact that he's stuck out this long at Sporting, 4 years, as like Bruno Fernandes said, he's a Macedonian and he clearly loves the club. So, I mean, any Macedonian that loves my club, I'll respect them. So I think his role this season is like locker room father, because it's a very young locker room. There's really not that many players that are over 30. I think Risto just turned 30 himself. So he might be kind of a clown, but he's a veteran on the team. So I think that as a more senior player on the team, I mean, so senior that he's wearing the armband, I think his role is just more so a mentor, because if any of you guys watch the Bolonense sad game, hopefully his role doesn't involve him actually playing that much, because I used to defend him, but he's becoming borderline indefensible at this point. His play has just gotten worse over time. And I mean, the one ball where it was like a 3-on-2 and he just panicked and crossed it out of bounds, that pretty much sums up Ristovski. But I mean, he's a great guy and it seems like he's here to stay. So, I mean, I'm okay with that, I guess.
Fair enough. Next question from Lauren, or Chip, formerly known as Chip, Cantonist Chip, I should say, at Lauren Yano on Twitter. She asks, first of all, parabéns, guys. Thank you, of course. Which new signing are you most excited about? Which area do you think we still need to address? Is Sporar good enough to lead the line long term? Here's to the next 3 years of the podcast. Cheers, Lauren. Thank you very much for your question and the parabéns. I'll answer the first one. I'll answer the most excited about. I think it's obvious. I think we can all agree it's going to be Fadal after giving away that penalty, right? No, I'm kidding. Adan, the goalkeeper. No, it has to be Pot. Pot, winning Young Player of the Year. for last season with Famalicão. Really showed some bright spots. It doesn't hurt that there's a clip also floating around on Twitter where Benfica score against Famalicão and he calls them a bunch of filha da putas. That also helps. But overall, he's looking like a stud already. Yeah, I think we can all agree Pedro Gonçalves is the one we have our eyes on the most. Patrick, what do you think? What area do we need to address the most, you think?
I think in this, I would say someone to play in between the lines again, just like Pedro Gonçalves is showing that he's got the capabilities of doing. But the thing is, when it's just one player doing that, it's the same thing that we had with Bruno Fernandes all over again, really, isn't it? It's always, if there's just one player, it's very easy to then try and mark that player out. And obviously, I don't want to compare Bruno Gonçalves but with Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes is a top quality player. So in my opinion, I think Potter will find it a lot more difficult with that sort of attention attached to him. So we definitely need someone on the other wing that can do a similar kind of work, or maybe the secret. A lot of people are talking about bringing in a striker, and we've seen in the preseason already how mobile the front three are. Jovan's popping up through the middle. I wonder whether Vieto has a say in this lineup still as a false nine sort of thing. I think that could be an interesting player that Amorim could, hopefully pick up his confidence, and we will start seeing the Vieto that once existed in the times of Racing and Villarreal. I'll be hopeful, but I think we certainly, and to be safe, we certainly need another option there. I know we signed Nuno Santos, but I think I don't find Nuno Santos as fluid, for example, as Pedro Gonçalves. I think we need another player in that sort of mould that can work in tangent with him.
Yeah, I agree. And the last part of this question, I'll ask to a former guest, an unofficial part of the group of the chat, New York's finest, might I add. Johnny Siniero, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, what's up, guys? Happy birthday.
What's up, brother?
What's up, man? Talking Sporting right now.
Yo, dude. I just wanted to ask, do you think Sporar can lead the line long term, dude?
Sporar? Yeah. Nah, I have faith in Sporar. He's definitely going to come through this year. He's going to score some goals. He's going to have better service in the box for him. I know he's not maybe not that fast, but
I feel like he's kind of underratedly fast.
Yeah.
At least it looks like he's trying really hard when he's running it. So
Definitely. But he doesn't have like that like sudden like quick burst where you're like, whoa, he got to the ball. Like, so. But yeah, that's pretty much how I feel about Sporar right there.
I agree. Before I ask you, Johnny, what you thought of our preseason, let me just quickly address our last Twitter question from our boy Abdallah from Jordan at Armuti92. He says, congratulations, guys, and thank you for helping non-Portuguese fans following Sporting and everything the club do. I hope I can catch the podcast, even the timing, which is not appropriate for me. My question is, do you think Sporting can qualify at least to UCL next season? Actually, Johnny, that one will be for you, dude. Because I honestly don't think I know a more what's the word I'm looking for? A more not hopeful, a more positive thinking Sportingista than
optimistic.
You on Twitter. Optimistic. Thank you. The English failing me a bit.
Yeah.
What do you think? Next season, UCL?
For us? Oh man.
All it takes is third place for a playoff.
Yeah, we can do it. I think we just gotta follow the Amorim blueprint and just follow his. He seems like he knows what he's doing. I trust him. So and the players just gonna react to him because he's young. The players are young. It's just gonna. I think it's just gonna, be a good marriage this season.
I agree. I think we'll get third. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm probably one of the more pessimistic people, but quality.
Yeah.
We're not lacking quality. I don't think.
I mean,
but anyway,
if you ask, I mean, you could say Porto hasn't reinforced themselves at all this offseason, but they've also really haven't lost anyone. I know that's basically keeping a title-winning side together and then adding Taremi to it. I feel like there's maybe more departures to come there, as is at Sporting. But I don't think we've closed the gap enough to pass Porto. Same with Benfica, was also reinforced heavily. But I mean, Braga thinks Nico Gaetan's about to pop off. I'm going to tell them ahead of time that that's not going to happen. So if that's their marquee signing, I think we've reinforced ourselves better than they have. So I think we can get third also.
Yeah. All right, Johnny. Quickly before I hopefully get Lauren or somebody on as well. What were your thoughts so far of this preseason?
To be honest, I didn't see the second game, but it was looking all right. I mean, what do you want? I mean, we're winning, Shit.
Facts.
It's
Facts.
a good start. It's a good start.
We didn't win a single game the entire preseason last year, so and
exactly.
we've already won.
We had terrible preseasons in the past, so it's good to see that starting off right in the preseason.
I'm wondering, is anybody really catching your eye out there so far? Any of the new guys, even any of the older guys?
Yeah, I mean, what's his name? Poro.
Yeah, Poro.
Poro, he's doing his thing. I like him. I think he's gonna be good for us. I mean, like I said, I didn't see the second game. I caught the highlights, but yes, Farrar scored. He did good. Goncalves was nice. I mean, you can't complain right now. You got the young guys, they're bubbling right now. So,
yeah, I couldn't agree more. More.
I'm feeling nice, man. I ain't gonna lie. I'm kind of wavy right now.
Let's go.
Yeah, bro.
Well, thanks for joining us.
I just got home. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo,
go
Steph.
for it. My bad, bro.
What's up, Steph? No. I just want to say what's up, Steph.
What's up, Johnny?
Yes. Happy birthday, Steph.
I don't, bud. Hey, thank you. I'm only 48 years old. My father, he called me from Portugal. It's like, oh, parabéns, filho. So you're 43? 43. I wish. I'm 48.
Man. Yeah, I just spoke to my grandparents yesterday, so yeah. It's good. It's good. Yeah.
Good,
Thank you, man.
You look good, Johnny. You lost some weight. You've been working out.
You've been working out. Yeah, sure. I've been eating. Nah, you know what? I've been eating right. That's what it is. I've just been eating right and just
Facts.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate you, bro.
We appreciate you joining us as always, bro.
Likewise, man. Likewise. Thank you so much, bro. Later.
We'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Later.
Until next time. See you soon. Damn, you cut him off.
I'm so bad with this, man. I am so bad with this. I did the same with José Costa Jorge when we had him on. Like, click the button. I'm sorry, Johnny. I swear, I'm sorry. Anyways, yeah, Sam, I was gonna ask you, what were your thoughts so far of this preseason?
I'm gonna be that guy, and I'm sorry, but it is only preseason. I just don't like getting my hopes up about Sporting ever. The last time I got my hopes up was the Europa League against Istanbul. When we won that first leg, I was like, we're going to win it. And then we lost the next game. So
that game, to be fair, didn't even seem real as it was unfolding. Like, as I was watching it, it's like the final whistle ended on that PK that basically ended it. Like, it didn't really feel real until it was fully over. And it was like, that just happened. But
it was anything that could have went wrong. It was just one of those games. But I mean, I am hopeful. What I've seen so far is good, but as I said, it's pre-season. Everyone is in the same boat, really, coming back from a bit of a layoff. But what I've seen, the new signings have done well. Like Pote, we've said, Pedro Porro is exciting. I think to me, even people I know they clown Adan, but I think he could be, even as a backup, be like what Salam was to Rui Patricio or Marcelo Boeck, just that influence in the changing rooms that we need, like that captain that we need. Fedal as well. I'm looking forward to seeing him, which I didn't know. Did you guys know he was linked to Liverpool in January? Which I mean,
I didn't know that.
I mean, if Liverpool want him, he must be good. But as of right now, I think I want to be positive, but this is Sporting Club de Portugal. When can we ever be positive? Ever. Even 15-16, I believe it was, when we were 2 points off the title. Again, I was like, we're going to win it. We didn't. So I'm hopeful, but I don't want to be too hopeful. So hopefully this goes on into the actual season. And, you know, I support Ruben Amorim 100%. I know he used to be Lampião, he was their captain, but we need to support the team right now. Even the new signings. I see Nuno Santos get a bit of stick. I mean, we have to.
I agree with you, man. We shouldn't shit on them until they deserve it, right? There's no point in shitting on them ahead of time. If Nuno Santos is shite, we can give it to him all he deserves it then. But premature, it's not. It's not worth it.
Yeah. I just think we've got to give them a chance, you know. If we were the same like we are now for Coates when he came from Sunderland, he was awful, one of the worst defenders in the league. And, you know, he turned out to be one of our most important players. But I think we've just got to give the management a chance and give the players a chance, the new players and the old players. I think we have to be united as a fan base. So hopefully that happens. And hopefully when fans are let back in the stadium, we're just as loud as we have been before.
Fair enough. Yeah, I agree. Just for the sake of us not really, or actually, Patrick, I'll also ask you what are your thoughts on the preseason. But more importantly, I want to ask you what are your thoughts on the two wingers we signed, Nuno Santos and I guess Pedro Gonçalves is more of a midfielder, but Nuno Santos and Pedro Gonçalves, really, I think it's safe to say are two more exciting signings. But what are your thoughts on that, and how do you think they can elevate Sporting next season?
In terms of pre-season, I think I speak for everyone. When I say that there's obviously, I wouldn't say like flat out excitement, but intrigued to see. You're always intrigued to see the new faces and see how they settle in. So each one of them, you know, Pedro Porro is an interesting player. He did very well at Rayo Vallecano, at Girona, at Valladolid. He's an interesting capture, I think, for Sporting, who can certainly do very well at that wing-back role. Pedro Gonçalves, we've all mentioned already. And I think Nuno Santos follows on very nicely. He's a player who knows the league very well. He's a different type of player to Pedro Gonçalves. I think he's more of a regimented winger. He'll probably prefer to play on his favoured foot out on the left rather than cutting in from the right. But I think in the sort of system that we do play, he will start off on the right. It sort of makes more sense for that to happen. And it will just be about how long it takes for him to adapt to that sort of style. And once he does, I think he can offer something very interesting again for the Sporting side under Mourinho. You know, we just got to be a little bit more patient. I know the problem with Nuno Sanchez is obviously an ex-Benfica player, and he's got that attached to him. So I feel like every single bad game that he has, like every single bad game that he turns in, it's going to get magnified simply because of his historical attachment to Benfica, and we can't fall into that trap. We have to, you know, let the boy just play, get those teething issues out of his game, let him soak in what Amorim wants him to do, and I'm sure that he'll be a nice addition to have in the Sporting team. I see a lot of comparison to like Diego Capel, for example, and he was an interesting player. Sometimes he'd play really well, sometimes obviously he'd be a little bit predictable, and it was what it was. But I think in a general aspect, I think Capel was a decent player, and I think Nuno Santos can obviously bring that into the Sporting squad as well, but hopefully a little bit more consistent, of course. But I think he's an interesting capture, just like Pedro Gonçalves. Pedro Gonçalves is obviously way out ahead, but you know, let's not write anyone off at this stage. I'm intrigued to see how everyone fits in.
Agreed. Yeah, agreed. Steph, my question on this preseason for you is it'll go towards our back line, really. We got a new goalkeeper in Adan. We got Pedro Porro as well, right back. We got Fidal, center back, along transfer saga, if you will. Do you think we should maybe go for another center back as well, seeing as now
you just left
in the back?
out our marquee signing, our marquee left back signing. You're just gonna forget him like that?
Antunes? Oh, my bad. How did I forget about Antunes? My bad. Yeah, just wondering what you thought about those signings there, Steph.
It's a good mix of experienced players. They've been around the block once or twice in very competitive leagues, such as Antunes. Fidal, he's an international of Morocco. So it's players that will bring quality and the experience that we need in our club, in our locker room, no balneario. Adan as well. He played in a one of the biggest clubs in Europe, Athletic Madrid. Always fighting for the Spanish title. Always fighting in the Champions League. They go pretty far each season. Toro, he's a up and coming. I'm excited to see him. I don't judge players just because they had one bad game. I wait a little bit, like Sam said, 4 months or so. You have to give them time. They just got into the club. It's a different country, different language, different culture, different league, different way of playing. You came from a British league, which the pace is a little bit faster than in the Portuguese league. We're more tactical. We play in a different way than British teams. So it takes time to assimilate the coach's idea. But so far, you know, I see the idea behind the pieces of the puzzle they've gotten. And I'm going to give the credit to I think Ruben Amorim. He's the one who said, hey, I want this player, this player, and this player. Or maybe he was given a list and he had to pick from that list with the money that we have or don't have. If I don't think we'll ever pay them. But I like Adan. Like Sam said, good backup to Maxi. But don't be surprised if he steals Maxi's job, because he is full of experience, and I saw him against Portimonense, and he played quite well when he came on the. Toro, like I said, let's give him some time. I think physically he's not there yet. That's what I saw. He was a little bit exhausted after these 2 games. Fidal, he's getting used to Coates, he's getting used to Net, he's getting used to Inacio, he's getting used to Quaresma, and all those dynamics, routines. It takes time. We want it to be today, but it takes time. And then Tunes, I'm not going to cut him out. I think he'll be a good backup. My guy is Nuno Mendes. I mean, the guy is phenomenal. He's a baller. But let's be totally honest. Is he going to play every game? No, because it's a long season. We're talking about how many games? 34 games in the Portuguese league, then X amount of games in Taça Portugal, X amount of games in the League Cup, X amount of games in Liga Europa. So yeah. But the thing is, it's a lot of games, a long season. So it does matter that we have Antunes. He'll be potentially the backup for Nuno Mendes. We still have Borja as well on the left wing. I'm not counting Acuna anymore. He's gone. But I think they were decent sign-ins. And let's give it some time. I'm a big supporter of let's be united again. Let's give Ruben Amorim a chance. I hate Varandas. Don't get confused.
Of course.
Amorim. Let's give our manager a chance and the team. But if Varanda quit it tomorrow, I'll be the happiest Portuguese in town. I don't think he's fit for the club. He's too obnoxious. He's too arrogant. And I don't like presidents like that. I like presidents that close with charisma with the fans. And he doesn't have those qualities. His qualities are to be as distant as possible from the fans. He's basically taking a big dump on us. He doesn't care about us that much. And call me dumb or something. I just paid my quarters until December 2021. Me, my father, and my son. I don't know. I just did it. But that's my way of showing how much I love Sporting and how I support my Sporting. I look at the big picture and not of the people I dislike.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm doing it for Sporting Portugal, and I don't do it for Varandas or Frederico Varandas, which I hate a lot, a whole
Yeah.
lot. Don't
worry, if you're dumb, I'm dumb. I'm dumb too. I when they were doing the renumeração, I also paid until December 2020 or January 2021.
Ainda bem que tu não estás a dizer a palavra escalões.
Nunca mais, meu amigo. Nunca mais. Anyways, we're gonna be joined by a special viewer or a special listener, a special friend, Lauren. Lauren, how you doing?
I am good. How are you?
We're all good. We're all good. Just wanted to get your 2 cents on what you thought of, or what you think next year has in store for Sporting. And of course, thank you for joining us at Sporting160. It's been a long time coming.
It has. No, congratulations massively on 3 years. It's amazing. Definitely the best podcast in the world, without a doubt.
Sick. I'll take it.
Thank you, Lauren.
How else would I be learning my Portuguese? It's great.
Awesome.
No,
yeah. So what are your thoughts for next season? What do you think we can? Where do you think we'll finish? And do you think we even have a chance to win the league?
An optimistic third. I have to be optimistic every year. I don't think we'll get close to winning the league, to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
I think with Benfica bringing JJ back, as well as making signings like Vertonghen as well, and Porto just keeping their players, I don't think that we'd have done enough to close the gap, enough to have a title challenge, to be fair. But I can definitely see us finishing third, at the very least, and hopefully having a better run in European football, as usual. Until we get knocked out by some stupid team again. Yeah.
Some Romanian team, right?
Yeah, some team we've never heard of before just comes out of nowhere and just knocks us out of a qualifying round or something. I don't know.
Some team we can't even spell.
Team we've never heard of and we'll never hear of again. That's that type of team.
Yeah, facts.
It sounds like Lauren is the only one that's capable of really telling the truth.
You have to be realistic.
I know. Yeah.
we know what to expect. So
yeah. Deep inside, we know that's the truth. We know that basically, if we finish third, which next year will be something more meaningful, it'll put us in the qualifying rounds of the Champions League. So it means a lot of money. Deep inside, we know that that's actually what we find fighting for. It's the third place, but everyone is.
I don't agree with that.
What, fourth place?
Deep down, the table is all zeros right now. Anything can happen. That's what I tell myself every single.
You didn't learn yet? You haven't learned from that mistake?
Regardless of anything. At the beginning of the season, everyone's 0-0, right? Everyone has 0 points.
I mean, Chris, I hope we win.
Until we're not 9, right?
Listen, Patrick, if you don't mind me to banter you just a little bit, that's what Arsenal fans have been saying since the start of every season. You know, they start off in first all the time, and then
that was
sorry.
No, but Chris makes a good point because this year is a very different kind of year. Obviously, with the pandemic and everything, preseason is very weird already. I think teams are squeezing 2-3 games in, and more or less coming straight into the season off the back of another. And when the games are going to start flying in, it's going to be a game every 3 days or whatever, right up until May. So it's not just about how good the squad is. It's also about physical resistance. Our neighbours across the road now with Jesus, we had Jorge Jesus as our manager, and we know full well what type of manager he is. He's a manager who wants your team to run however many miles, throughout the duration of 90 minutes. And when you're packing so many games in, obviously they've got better depth than us. And Porto are in a similar position. They're a team that runs a lot. They're very industrious. But when you're packing so many games into a season like we're about to, let's see what the effects are on a team like that, on the Porto or on a Benfica towards the end of the season. And maybe things will shine a little better on us. I think that's my hope. That's what I'm hanging on to. The Sporting can be quite smart with it. Obviously have their own type of game that can unlock teams rather than trying to be physically superior and run them off the pitch. And hopefully, you never know. Stranger things have happened in a normal season. Leicester have won the league in England. I think Braga had a decent shot at the season somewhat 10 years ago against Benfica as well. So who knows? It's going to be a weird season.
It's important to look at how many losses and points Porto and Benfica both had last season. The point total that they both put up, I mean, obviously Benfica's was 4-6 less. I don't even remember, but it was significantly less than is normal, 15, 16, 17 to win the league. You have to basically drop points in no more than 4 games the whole season. So basically what I'm saying is in the pandemic era of these somewhat more random results of empty stadiums, I mean, basically all Sporting has to do is just keep it close. Just keep it close. Just hang. No one's expecting them to pace the league, right? No one's expecting them to run out in first through 10 weeks. But I think as long as they keep it close, you'll be in a more prime position to strike at the end of the season, as opposed to normal circumstances, basically. And that applies to third, fourth. We felt comfortable in third. We had a 6-point lead, right? And then it was gone, So in the pandemic era, football has more crazy elements to it.
We seen Lyon knock off City and Juve in the same Champions League in this era. So I agree with you guys. Anything is possible. I'm just not as optimistic, maybe.
Well, let me ask you a question. I'm gonna ask you a question to all of you then. So, who do you think has the biggest influence in Portugal when it comes to the referees?
Well, I mean, that's a mountain to overcome as well, and that's the problem with if it gets close, the tie goes to the one who bought the ref, right? If it's tied, if it's close, which is what happened to us in 15-16. So yeah, that's a tough mountain to overcome. But at the same time, you could say Vieira's influence is slipping in the past year more than it ever has.
Yeah.
I think Vieira will lose the elections, which I think the Benfica.
No fucking way, dude.
No. Hold on. I think the elections are in October for Benfica.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
They might be September.
I don't know it 100%. But they just landed on PAOK. PAOK will play against them for the Champions League. So they traveling to Greece. Guess who's the coach for PAOK? Abel Freire. So he knows that team quite well. I wouldn't be surprised if PAOK wins against Benfica, and then that's when I think Vieira will lose the elections in October, if that happens.
That could happen. If they crash out, that could happen.
Yeah.
But that's for their podcast, not ours, anyway.
Yeah, fair. Anyways, Lauren, thank you for joining us. Thank you for also listening for all this time. We really do appreciate your support and everything. So thank you as always.
You're
number
welcome.
one fan.
Facts.
Thank you.
I'll
Number
take
one
that.
fan and the number one podcast in the world.
Yeah.
Exactly. Always.
Thank you, Lauren. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Lauren.
Thank you.
See you later.
Fuck, there I go again.
I
Fuck.
mean, you were saying see you
I
later.
thought it was close. Oh, damn.
You're so rude. You're rude.
No, I thought it was. Anyways, yeah, I don't really know where to go from here. I think we talked most preseason. Maybe Christian. The only thing I had to really ask is more related on the Nuno Santos and the Pedro Gonçalves is like the financial aspect of it. Us giving up Dalla, Gerald for Nuno Santos and 4 million to Rio Ave. Us also giving up 6.5 for 50% of Pedro Gonçalves. And back to the Nuno Santos thing, maybe leading João Mario to Benfica. That was the rumors. Now today coming out saying that there's a 30 million anti-clause on it as well. What were your thoughts of everything that's going on? And I'm so sorry, Lord. I'm so sorry.
I mean, basically, from what I've seen in 2 games, about 90 minutes combined, 20 in the first, 70 in the second. That 50% of the pot pass is going to become a problem eventually. Obviously, right? He's clearly very good, and the problem with the 50% thing is the first 50% was already inflated, right? So if the first 50 is already inflated, let's say he has a hell of a season, bags 10 goals, bags assists, and we're like, all right, you want to buy the second 50%. Then they say, okay, that'll be 10 million, So it's at the point now, it's like, if you're buying that second 50 and then you're selling, like, are you even going to make money off of this? So yeah, obviously it's going to be a problem down the road. And the main reason it's going to be a problem is because he's clearly good, which I guess is a good problem to have. But as we can see with the Plata negotiation, for his second 50%,
Chris, I don't want. Chris,
go ahead.
But Chris, it's not the way it goes. I don't mean to cut you off, but Sporting bought his pass and they kept 50%. So if we sell him later, let's say for 20 million, Famalicão keeps 10 million. They're not going to negotiate their 50%.
Yeah, but we obviously could try to buy the other. We could try to buy the other half of his pass if we wanted to.
Like,
that's already part of. That's part of the contract. So if we want to buy, it's already said how much. Yeah,
but
it's
same
already
time,
said. The amount
Plata, we don't have a deal for Plata's 50%, the second 50%. That's why we've been in a tug of war for like 6 months trying to agree on a fee because it clearly wasn't set ahead of time. So maybe they learned from that and said, okay, no matter what, the second 50% is going to be 6, not going to be 10, 12, guaranteed to be 6 no matter what happens. Okay, we can live with that, I guess. But if it's like Plata and we're just going to end up in another tug of war, like, I don't know, it's just shitty. Because you're not gonna make money off of him. You would have to sell him for 13 million to break even. Obviously, that's not.
No, agreed. The only problem I see is the Portuguese newspapers. They only talk about how much we pay, how much we owe, but we're getting a lot of money too. And I mean, unless you're very distracted, but we've gotten 10 million from Pereira. We've been selling a lot of players. Varandas brags about it that he's the one who has sold the most players in Sporting and made the most money lately.
It's over like 200 million in sales. No one knows.
I mean,
it's a great question, stuff.
I would guess it's being used to pay back creditors. Is what it's being used.
Yeah, somebody's making money. I don't see.
Basically, payments that other clubs
driving Renault and Citroën.
Nothing better than
them driving Mercedes and BMWs. I think.
The Viana and Varandas in the back of the Maybach, that infamous picture.
In the back of the
you guys are living the high life.
Yeah. The only other thing we can really talk about are maybe the potential outgoings, because there haven't really been any big ones yet. Just the potential ones really of Pelinha and Acuna. I have to admit, I am very frustrated on how we're handling any of that. I think Pelinha, if we're not getting maybe I'm delusional and not really understanding the finances, but clearly there's money to be spent. So with Acuna, there's money to be popado, if you will, So why he's training aside from everyone else, I don't think that helps his value out at all. He's an Argentinian international. Me and Steph actually spoke earlier today. Maybe looking back in hindsight, maybe we should have sold him to Zenit those years. Like last year, I should say, 18 plus 2. Though I still think that's or even back then we thought it was very low price tag for an Argentinian international. But
we're about to sell him for 10 million.
Exactly, seeing that we're about to sell him for 10, 12 million. Looking back in hindsight,
we've taken all our leverage away.
Yeah, exactly.
We have no leverage. He's training in the woods.
We're basically putting a for sale sign. Please sell him. Please sell him. So yeah, I'm with you. I don't like the way we're handling that. Pelinha is the same thing. We're about to sell him for 10 million to CSK Moscow.
But Pelinha doesn't want to stay, so let him go. I mean, he doesn't want to stay, and Braga gets 20%. You know that.
I mean, he doesn't want to stay, but he has a contract. He still showed up first game of preseason.
Yeah.
There's
no benefit to including them in the organized trainings.
I have work tomorrow morning at 9. I don't want to go to work, but I have to go.
You don't have to play them in the scrimmages, but they can still be included in the training.
Exactly. Yeah.
No.
That's all I'm saying.
He's going to work. He's going to work, but he's just doing a different pitch.
Yeah, he's going to work at the same office, but he's just doing the same work next to his coworkers instead of with them.
Yeah,
next to them. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
I wish
so I don't know if anybody.
Pelinha is he's a good player, but he's not going to stay. That's obvious, and Braga will get 20% on top of it. Mm-hmm. So if we sell him for 12 million, like it looks like to the Russian team, 2 million 0.5 will go to Braga.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
we have become Braga's bitches.
Yep,
we did it to ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll just quickly go through the departures so far. Of course, Matheus Pereira to West Brom, Gelson Dalla and Chico going to Rio Ave in exchange for Nuno Santos, Battaglia going to Alaves, and then of course, because Transfer Market mentions it, it can't be understated. Jeremy Mathieu going as well. Retiring, of course, to that knee injury. I don't know if anybody has anything to really say about any of the departures.
I'll go if you don't mind.
Of course, please.
So it's going to be an unpopular one, but I'm glad to see Chico leave, not for us, but for him. I think he deserves first team. I don't think he's an amazing footballer, but he's got the attitude, and he's definitely a Leao 100%. Dalla, I'm not sure, is the same, but they deserve the chance to prove it. Just adding on to the Acuna thing, I feel like Sporting are at a time where I'm not sure if you would all agree that any player, no matter, we can sell any player if the price is right. There is no one player who I think runs up today like, no, he's not going. It's if we get the right price for Acuna or Coates or Max, then it's fine. But 10 million for an Argentinian international who would fit in great in the Premier League, Serie A, La Liga is an abomination. It's disgraceful. But what I would like to see is Ilori needs to go. No way is he staying. Even if we release him, I don't care what it costs.
We only own half his pass too.
Why?
We paid 2.4 million for 50% of his pass.
Why was he poor? Like he shit at Liverpool, shit at Reading. Oh. But yeah. So I want to see Rossier go as well, but obviously he's had a bad season. I assume his stock isn't too high. But other than that, I hope Braganza stays. I hope Pelinha stays. I even hope Acuna stays. But those three are looking unlikely to stay. But if I were to choose one of them to stay, I want Braganza to stay. He's got, I think, a ginormous future in our team. And if he goes anywhere, if he goes to Wolves or wherever George Mendes wants to put him, he's going to excel. So hopefully we keep Braganza here.
Yeah, agreed. We also have Rodrigo Fernandes coming through. I don't know if you guys want to quickly give in your
This
2 cents
needs
about
to get
that.
talked about. This needs to get talked about because it's
Yeah.
it's really insane, especially if you guys have watched, or anyone listening has watched the 2 games. In that first game, I mean, he just looked like he stumbled upon the wrong game. Like he was supposed to be going to like the U17 game down the road, and he turned up on the wrong pitch. He didn't even look like he belonged on the field. I mean, it's obvious, right? This isn't even one of those backdoor ones where it's like, oh, George Menz knows this guy's agent in the Bruno Fernandes situation. It's like, no, George Menz straight up is this guy's agent. It's listed online. You can go verify it yourself. There was talk of this guy going for 10 to 15 million to Wolves, obviously, last season. He was like borderline not renewing his contract. His contract expired on June 30th. None of us, we talked about it here, none of us even knew if he had renewed or not. There was no news. We honestly assumed that he just walked for free. You know, his deal ended, but apparently they had renewed it. And now all of a sudden he's just like seemingly just out of nowhere forced into the first team picture, right? It really speaks volumes because MOD injected those youngsters at the end of last season, some of which we could probably agree weren't quite ready, such as Thiago Tomas. And it's like, if he wasn't even included with that lot, it really is incredible that he just all of a sudden is like being considered for minutes. You know, he's out there with the starters. And now it's like, it seems like it's a give or take. It's like, because Matheus Nunes played really well, and I think that he's been growing as well. We haven't mentioned him at all, but he played really well yesterday. Definitely growing into the role. But it's like, you basically have a choice between Rodrigo Fernandes and Bragança then, because you're not going to keep all 3 of them. They're all similar-ish. Rodrigo Fernandes definitely gets a little bit of a benefit, if anything, because he seems to be more of a holding type player more than an offensive player. And this roster really has no holding center midfielders in it, unless you consider Doumbia that, which isn't a good option.
Consider any type of player is not a good option.
I mean, at the end of the day, it seems like Jorge Mendes is just going to force his guy into the team, and Bragança is going to be on the outside looking in. And we all were so hyped for Bragança. It's like, all right, this year, like, he is guaranteed to be in the first team. Like, guaranteed. He like the news, Astudillo, he's coming back. Like, we've been looking forward to this news for like 6 months, Bragança being in the first team. He just won Young Player of the Second Division. Like, we all have known for so long that he's going to be in the first team. And just all of a sudden, he just somehow might not be. And it's really frustrating.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed. Just a quick question from Lauren. Jolson has not signed a new deal yet, to my knowledge. It's just been rumors so far.
No, just rumors. Yeah.
Just rumors. Let me just try to play a quick video from our boy Nuno Gabriel, and then Steph, I think, also has a video for us to play as well. Just give me a quick second here. I'm trying to load it. Just another parabéns. Então, pá. Anyway, Steph, I don't know if you want to try first. You're muted, buddy. I can't hear you. There you go. Steph?
Do you see me moving my lips? You can read lips?
No.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out as well, so I need a second myself.
Okay, then never mind. Let's quickly.
No, I just interject.
Ryan Gauld. Sorry, what was that?
No, I was just going to interject one more time, and it's something that we were talking about a while ago, but I completely forgot. If João Mario goes to Benfica, I'll be heartbroken. He's one of my favorite all-time sporting players, and it's it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen because they're trying to get out of the news, and they're trying to pretend like he doesn't have a clause in his contract.
Yeah,
we don't all know that they traded clauses to sign Nuno Santos. Benfica waived the non-rival clause, and then they in turn waived the non-rival clause for João Mario. Like, that's what happened. Everyone knows that, and they're trying to pretend like that's not what happened, which means that he's about to sign for Benfica.
and he's going to ball out too. You just know he is, which is going to break my. He's definitely going to score against us as well, man.
The last time he balled out was under Jorge Jesus too. Keep that in mind. So,
exactly.
I mean, I missed a lot of his adventure in Russia. Did he do anything this past year? I didn't really see.
I think he might have scored a goal or two.
Than he was before. He had a better year at Moscow than he did at West Ham and Inter, for sure.
Yeah.
But he's a long way away from the Romari that we know, though. And it's been 4 years as well.
True.
I wouldn't be that worried.
All right. Let me know if you guys can hear this. Thumbs up.
Can't hear it, I don't think.
Nah, I don't think so.
No.
We can post it on Twitter, I guess.
Sorry, Nunu. We tried. We will definitely post it on Twitter. Then. I tried. It's just the way I downloaded it. I guess it wasn't an MP4 file like João Castro's. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Okay, unless there's anything else to be said, I think that's podcast number 78 in the books. A little chaotic, especially for me on this end.
They're working the instruments behind the scenes.
This and my laptop fucking off in the meantime. Like, sorry, Steph. Go ahead.
I'll play Mediana's video.
Perfect.
Okay, but I'm gonna do it in a very old-fashioned way.
On your phone.
You're gonna hold your phone up to the camera.
Nice. We'll post this on Twitter as well later.
You ready? So you can mute your stuff so we can hear Mediana.
E é às 19h06, hora portuguesa, que decidi então aqui gravar um vídeo de muitos parabéns a este Sporting 160. Neste caso, em inglês, vocês são enormes, vocês fazem um programa há 3 anos que prova que o amor a este clube vai muito para além das fronteiras territoriais que este país tem. Vocês provam também que o Sporting 160 é feito por amor, com amor ao Sporting Clube Portugal. Um grande beijinho para vocês, muito sucesso e viva o Sporting.
Yeah, thank you, Mariana. Obrigado, Mariana. Words as always. A special thank you to everybody that joined us. Patrick, thank you for joining us like the old days as well. Sam, just like the old times as well. Just want to send also a quick thank you to João, to Pedro, to Johnny Singero, New York's finest, who is on, Lauren Jenks, who is on. It's been a wonderful ride from Sporting updates to then Sporting160EN. A lot of ups and downs. We had a special shout out to Bruno Brito, another special shout out to Bruno Minge, who went through some dark phase in his life.
I think he came out on the other side feeling good. It worked out in the end.
I think Portuguese again.
It worked out.
Stress got too much to him that he lost himself for a month.
I mean,
shout out to him.
Who can blame him, man? I mean, how has the club not broken us more, right?
Honestly, though,
give it time.
It's gonna be 19 years, yeah.
A special shout out as well to Nando, who was having some technical difficulties, or else he would have joined us today as well. And yeah, to you guys, it's to our listeners. Quickly to our Ozzy Tuga, to Jesse Silva, to Yano on the chat, to the real Alfrekerski, but Huishavj, Santu Marks, who came on saying he's a first-time listener. We appreciate you. Hope you stick around. Jukebox Leal, Paulo Costa, Francisco Matos, Yano, I said Gabriel Couto. So many Joel Leão, Steph Teixeira, cutest guy on YouTube, Flippy. Thank you everybody for listening, for joining us, especially those who were with us from day one. And then of course, like we said, those who are with us to today. We hope you stick around. We'll definitely be here to discuss all things Sporting. And yeah, guys, for a message from me to you, because, I was trying to be sentimental earlier. I just don't think it was getting off. It's been an absolute pleasure these last 3 years, discussing Sporting with you guys, having healthy debates as always. I don't think we'll ever get the recognition we deserve. Like João and Pedro were mentioning, there's already been journalists sort of stealing our shit one or twice. Sport TV really fucked us up, and we'll always hate them for that. But it's been a pleasure through everything, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Right.
So yeah, with that being said, Viva Sporting as always, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Sporting.
Viva.